Today, debanking is real. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics Work Notice Post covering finance and property news with a distinctively Australian flavour. Today I'm joined by Paul Thomas. Hi Paul.
Hi Martin.
Thank you very much for spending some time, and you've got a very sorry story to tell. You're the managing director of a firm that's been debanked.
That is correct, and for all intents and purposes we don't know why.
And the point about debanking is that it is essentially the removal of banking services, right? So effectively, you were with an organisation for quite a long period of time, nothing wrong, the business that you're running is perfectly kosher, there's no issues about it, but for some reason they decided to withdraw the services.
That's correct.
Can you identify any reason why they would do it?
I can only put it down to a commercial decision that the bank's made. Recent information that's come to light is this particular bank has moved into the field of cash in transit services, which is primarily my business and my core industry that I service. And they're facilitating these services. And maybe because of the success that I've been pushing through in the last 6 to 12 months with the building of the business, they've seen a threat and wanted to take that threat out of the equation, but using the terms and conditions and a debanking process to eradicate the competition.
Right, and we should say this is one of the big major banks. We won't actually mention on camera who it is, just to protect the innocent, as it were. But
yes,
the point is that in their terms and conditions, they basically say that they can remove, banking services at a whim for any reason.
That's exactly right. Like the particular term that they're using in our reference, which is a standard term in the retail sector, is on rare occasions, we may also exercise our discretion to close your accounts or refuse to accept further withdrawals due to unsatisfactory conduct or any other reason we deem appropriate. And we've challenged them on all fronts, and they're just not forthcoming with information. All they're indicating to us is it's in the best interest for both parties for an expedited hearing.
Right, so you are going to court over it. So that's one of the reasons, again,
Yes.
why we have to be a little bit careful about what we say. But, people will be surprised, I think, to see that there is that sort of clause inside the relationship between a bank and a customer. Now, it's a business customer that you are.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether there are quite the same clauses on the retail side, but I can tell you, having looked at a few other agreements, there are some pretty broad similarities that allow banks just to swipe services away without giving any reason.
That is correct. Like when I signed up to the bank and got my accounts, I'm like probably one of many people. You don't go through your terms and conditions. You don't think to consider them because you don't expect to be in this situation. I never expected to be in this situation given the relationship that I have with this bank. And the fact that I've personally been banking with one of its subsidiary banks that it owns for 29 years as a personal customer, and they too have closed my accounts.
Right, and that's what I wanted to come on to, because it's not just the business account, it's the complete relationship, including your personal accounts, right? So this clearly has a significant impact on you and on your business.
That is correct. Like at the time of receiving the notification, I first got notification in October 2020 last year, the intention of no longer providing financial services to the business. And then 4 weeks past that date of receiving, I received notice that they're now going to withdraw all financial services to me personally. That includes my superannuation, my income protection, my life insurance policies, and even as far as my mortgages, which are in joint names because my sister and I own a property together and that's where we live. And they're closing the mortgage down, but they're still going to allow us, nice of them, to make the payments to the mortgage.
That's very kind, isn't it? Yes.
It is.
And You said they really have given you no explanation as to why they're doing it. You're hypothesizing it's to do with the fact that your business is one that actually is sort of crossing paths with what they might want to do commercially. But,
Yes.
just to be clear, there is no criminal or other thing going on behind the scenes in your business, is there?
No, I've got nothing going on. The type of work that I do and the licenses that I have to hold in New South Wales and even across the state, I've had to get federal police checks done and clearances done. And if I have committed any offence whatsoever or have one charge against me, even assault charge, I can have all my licenses revoked. I've never been approached by any regulators, never been approached by any authorities whatsoever. The first I've heard about this is the letter in October that they've got a problem.
Yeah. No, it is very concerning. And, it goes back a little bit to the Senate inquiry into the cash ban from, last year. And we heard quite a few stories of different organisations who were debanked. And I know at the time I got a lot of feedback saying, "You're kidding, it doesn't happen, does it?" Well, the truth is it can happen and it does happen.
It does. I'm pretty fortunate and lucky because we both have an association and a relationship with Robbie Barwick from the Citizens Party. They've been quite a good, strong advocate for me and supporting me through all this, and have got things underway. And they're the ones that actually put me onto the solicitors that I'm using in the city, in Sydney at the moment. And these solicitors that I'm using have got merit. They're not afraid to take the banks on. They've taken the banks on in the past and won. And one of their cases that they took on saw the participants in the class action with a joint payout of nearly $83.5 million. So I thought, why not? Let's give it a go.
Right. And in the meantime, have you been able to get banking service with another organisation, or has this stopped you from getting access elsewhere?
It hasn't stopped me from getting access. Like I didn't have all my eggs in one basket with the business. I have accounts with all the other different banks. This particular bank, my primary account for clearance of what we do. Being a cash in transit company, obviously we pick up cash, we drop off cash, we count cash, we bank cash, we EFT it back to our clients. That's the service that we provide, which is no different to that of our competitors and that of the two major ones, which are Armaguard and Prosegur, which provide exactly identical services. The only difference is I am a smaller outfit, a boutique style service that actually cares about the customer. And this is why I believe I'm being targeted, is because I'm starting now to get a lot of customers come on through word of mouth and the recommendations that my current customers are providing. I've never once advertised my business. I pride myself on service and keep everything above board. I've had an open door policy all the way with this particular bank from the start of this, and not once have they wanted to come in and have a look at the information that we have stored on our servers. Everything actually goes through MYOB, so it's reconciled through the bank feeds. Right. So it just doesn't add up.
No, absolutely. So the steps forward from here, then, you're able to keep your business running through the other relationships you have, which is good. Which means, by the way, that other banks don't have the same issue that this particular bank has, right?
No.
But meantime, you're going to actually pursue it, because it sounds to me it's become, as well as a commercial issue, it's a matter of principle for you.
It is. It's a matter of principle completely. The fact of the matter is that I know I'm not the only one out there. And if I can put the record straight, or at least I'm not going to go down without a fight. Yes, finances are tough. Being a small business, surviving COVID, I managed to get ahead with everything. But where I got ahead, I've now spent fighting this bank. And it's just, where's the government in all this? The government needs to step up to the plate and take some sort of ownership and responsibility on things, and it's high time for change. And thank God we do have a couple of senators that I'm speaking with that are interested in what's going on, and hopefully with the right guidance and with the right people, we can start pushing to make a difference, even to the point where the banks put on notice, hey, we're coming for you.
Well, the power imbalance that you're talking about here is pretty astonishing. And, I'll be frank with you, I think the major banks have way too much power in Australia. They call all the shots. They, of course, have very significant support within the parliamentary system as well. So it's good to hear that there are some people in politics who are beginning to wake up to the fact that this power imbalance needs to be readjusted to make it a fairer, more level playing field. Paul, one of the things I understand you're doing is you're actually running a GoFundMe page because, of course, this is all costing you a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've spent in the proximity of nearly $50,000 to $55,000 so far. And I figured, I've made a pledge that if I get a win out of this, and that's ruled in my favour, then the money that's raised, I'm going to donate to a worthy cause, which is the renal unit, which my father passed away from renal issues. And he was an advocate supporter of the renal unit at St George Hospital here in Sydney. And my pledge is if we do get a favourable outcome, then the money that's raised through the GoFundMe page, providing I don't need it for the financial side of paying for the legal costs, then that will be donated to a charity cause. But yeah, it's just I need all the help that I can get. I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, but you just don't know where things can pan out to. So that's why I've put the GoFundMe page out there just to try and get that added extra support and comfort of knowing that there's people out there which want to try and make a difference, and now's the time to make a difference by helping along the way, because if I can make a change, then it sets a precedence for everyone else.
Well, we'll put the links to the GoFundMe page below, and all power's your elbow. And I wish you all the best with what's going on at the moment. But the point of this show was really to highlight to people that debanking is not just a theoretical concept. It's real. It can happen. And if it does, it can fundamentally change your life, can't it?
It does. I'm on an emotional roller coaster, and I'm living day by day, and I just don't know when it's going to end. I do have an end date when the hearing is, and I'm told that date is when the decision will be handed down by His Honour. But until then, it's an emotional roller coaster ride. My clients, although they want to stick around and stay with me, they're all of the uncertainty of what's occurring and what's happening. I have lost a few, not because of service, but because of the treatment that this bank has partaken in. And they've jumped ship to our competitors that happen to be banking with that same bank. So go figure. It's a double standard.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wish you the best with the fight that you've got there, and it's clearly taking a toll, but nevertheless, there are people who care about it and believe that this is an important issue, and that's why I wanted to make this show, because not only it's important for people to understand that debanking is real, but also to do my little bit to try and help the cause in terms of bringing to the the broader public this issue, because it's really critical.
That's for sure. And any help and any awareness that can get out there in the public is most important, because, like I said before, it's high time that these banks are towed the line, are towed in, and it's time for action. And the Australian people is the only way that we can get this change, and get the change for good, for the better good for everyone, because I don't want anyone else to be in the same predicament that I am, because it's not fair. Like it's the not knowing is the killer. And had I done something wrong, had I done something illegal, then sure, I'd put my hands up, but I haven't. That's the thing that's frustrating here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's coming back to, the terms and conditions were unfair probably in the first place, and the way that they've been interpreted is probably unfair, and the result of that is you've been, hit for six. So, well, hang in there, keep fighting, and we'll
I certainly will.
We'll put the show out and again raise awareness, and also warn people that debanking is something which they should be aware of, and read your terms and conditions.
Exactly right.
Thanks, Paul. Good luck, and
No worries.
appreciate your time today. Take care.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.